Hi everyone, my name's Anna Griffin. Welcome to Card Making Project 575. Today we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin supplies, and we're actually only using 4 things to be able to make this card, and I think it's a beauty. It's a great technique whether you're a new crafter or whether you're an advanced crafter. If you're advanced, you would be able to take it to another level. If you're a new crafter, you would be able to substitute items for other items maybe you've got in your crafty stash. Everything I do use, I shall put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out. And together with the list, there will be lots of photos of both inside and outside of the project, just to act as a little reminder. Now, for anybody watching on YouTube, at the end of the video, my face will pop up in one corner, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, because you'll receive notifications of when new videos and tutorials are available. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and let's have a look at today's gorgeous project. For today's tutorial, we're going to be using the Anna Griffin concentric frame dies. We're going to be using the large shadow frame. We're going to be using the ornate frame. We're going to be using the middle size shadow frame and the middle size ornate frame. And believe it or not, for this tutorial we're actually only going to be using 4 things from Anna's range. We're going to use a couple of extra things that we've probably got in our stash, but the main things are actually, there's only 4. Now, our base card is from the Trelliage card blanks from Anna Griffin, and I've picked out a gorgeous floral one, and I just think this tutorial is great to show you all about layering and positional die cutting, because we've done this method many times and I think it's just a great idea for beginners and advanced crafters. So the base card that we're using is the 7x5 inch card from the Trelliage card blanks, and on the back already I've filled in my name and the project number. Project 575, that means there's so many on my blog to have a look at. Now, even though this is one of Anna's cards, I'm still using my bone folder to make sure I've got a nice sharp crease along the edge. And the first thing that we're going to do is the inside. Now, I've got to admit, the concentric dies for me, the frame dies, are just so beautiful. And I know for my friends in the UK, we haven't had them as yet. And I do hope that we get them. I've just been lucky to be able to get these. And you would be able to substitute this with many of the frame dies that we've already had here. Now, the first layer for the inside of our card, and I know what you're thinking. As soon as I've shown you it, you're all thinking, whoa, what's going on? I've cut the large frame shadow layer in ivory cardstock, and then I've taken 2 colours of ink, and I have taken the ink pad direct to the cardstock, and I have, in a technical word, splodged it on, and then I've embossed the gold first, and then clear embossing, and that's heat embossing for any new viewers. So I've used a heat gun to heat up the embossing powder on the gold first, then I've gone back in and added the clear embossing powder and heated it up again, and I've got this gorgeous effect for the edge. And I know this looks like you're thinking, whoa, I'm watching Anne-Marie and she's gone absolutely crazy, because that's not very neat, it's not very Anna Griffin-esque, it's just not what we would expect. But you know what? It will be. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this on flat tape, I've got a little bit of extra tape on here because I've heat embossed it and it's curled a little bit as it's being sat. It will sit flat in the card, so don't panic, and it's going to look great. I'm positioning this in the inside, and going to press it down nice and flat, and my next layer is the actual frame layer. Now I've die cut this out of ivory and I've embossed it as well, and you can just see the detail along the edge. Even though it's for the inside, the embossing isn't that high, it's not going to affect the closure of the card. And I've got flat tape on the back of this, so I can peel the tape away. Now the beauty of our previous layer, that you all think I've lost my mind, when I place this layer over the top, the shadow layer with the inked effect shows through the aperture holes from the die, and now it just looks like a marbled tone on tone, ombre, whatever you want to call it, effect, and it just looks so pretty. You can't see any of my technical term splodged ink. It just works. You would never know that you've just thought I was crazy. But the colouring, you could use all one colour, you could use more than two colours, you could use whatever you like. These are going to tone in perfectly to the actual embellishments that we're going to use. And we're going to add 2 of the Trelliage die cuts. Now what I've done is I've picked these out and I've just simply cut a little bit into this flower here. And I've taken one of the birthday sentiments from the same die cuts. I've got flat tape on the back, and I'm just simply going to slip this die cut through the back of, there we go, through the back of that little snip that I've made, and it will go, there we go, there. And it kind of wraps around the sentiment like that, she says. It's always great in an idea. There we go. And it's just positioning it. See, at home you won't put your tape on yet. Then I can peel the tape away from the back of the rest of the embellishment. And I've got a second flower that I'm going to position over the top of the base of the sentiment, again with flat tape on because we're creating the inside, and that's just going to creep over that little bit there, just at the edge. Now, if you're sending a really long message, you haven't got a lot of room for that, but there is enough room for you to and from. And look how pretty it is, and it's going to match perfectly to the outside of our card. It just, I think it just sings, does the inside of that card. So now we can create the outside. I'm going to use my bone folder again to make sure I've still got a nice sharp crease along the edge. And this is where we're going to create what's being called as positional die cutting. And the first thing I've done is I've taken another one of these card blanks and I've die cut it. And I've die cut it using the concentric frame dies. I haven't used a shadow layer on this occasion. If you're an advanced crafter, you might want to use an extra layer and use the shadow layer, which you know you can do to add more depth to the card. But what I've done is I've just die cut the actual frame, and then I've used the middle size shadow layer die to cut out the centre. This is on 3D foam, and quite a lot of 3D foam. I think I got carried away. And what happens is you're going to position this frame over the pattern that's on the card. So in theory, it sits over the pattern and it marries up with the pattern for the edges. I'm going to press it down, and then for the middle layer I have the plain shadow layer that we've cut out the centre, and I've cut this on ivory cardstock. It's on 3D foam, and I'm simply positioning that over the centre, and I'm going to press that down. Next, from the centre that we previously die cut from the actual large frame, I'm going to marry up the design. I've got this on 3D foam, and I'm marrying the design up, and you see the shadow layer below, and you get that little break in the design, and it just gives it a little bit more depth. And there's the beautiful embossing on the centre layer. Next, I've got one of the Trelliage embellishments. I've got 3D foam on the back of it, and I'm simply going to position it towards the top of the actual centre, like that. Then I've taken one of the actual sentiments from the collection, and I've got that on 3D foam, and I'm going to position that to the base of the flowers and press it down. And then I'm going to finish the card off with a gorgeous green bow at the bottom underneath the sentiment, and that is our card finished. Now we've got some gorgeous depth in those layers. The inside matches perfectly to the outside, stands up, it will definitely go on a mantelpiece, and it's just such a beautiful card. It's an easy card, and if you don't have many of Anna's products but you do have the Trelliage die cuts and the card blanks, you would be able to adapt and substitute the frame dies for whatever dies you have to make your unique creation. And I love the colourways, I love the pinks and the greens and the purples. Such a beautiful card. Please check my blog for lots of photos of the project, and I'll take photos of the inside as well as the outside to give you nice close-ups and a reminder of what we've created. All the products and the items are on there for the list that we use, and there's so many other projects as well, so please check it out if you've got 5 minutes. We might need more than 5 minutes. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. At the end, my face will pop up, probably around about now, and just click on it and subscribe, and you'll get notifications as when new videos and tutorials are available. So I would just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.